Welcome to some bonus ThrabenU content. I have, as of right now, recorded 5 Cube videos that I'm going to be putting up on Saturdays for the next month. Cube is something that doesn't normally do well on my channel, so if you enjoy these, like, comments, tell me you subscribe because of this video, that sort of stuff, make me a donation. Show me that it is worth my time to post these Cube videos, and they might end up continuing in the future. If you enjoy buying magic cards, check out Cool Stuff Inc. and use promo code ThrabenU to save a little bit on your next order. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy these videos. There's not going to be a fancy ending to them or anything. They're just going to abruptly end. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day when you finish watching the video. Alright, here we go. Grip Mine is a safe card that would probably make any deck that I play. Ugin's generic. Dynamo's generic. It's not a standout pack in any capacity. I don't really know what I'm supposed to take here. I want to try to force an aggro deck. I could just take something like a Blade Splicer early. Or I could just take the Hex Drinker that I'm currently hovering over. That's like not bad either. I'm really unsure on this one. Would love feedback from the crowd on this one. I'm going to take Hex Drinker as a mana sink. Gaia's Cradle as a follow-up pick. Like, this is a very strong reason to be in green. Could wheel a Green Sun or a Once Upon a Time, potentially. Cityscape Leveler. Crop rotation for Gaia's Cradle. There's also, like, Fire Covenant, which I love that card. Whitestone and the Weakstone is a perfectly reasonable mana rock removal spell that could go into any deck. I could also just, like, take Entomb. Doesn't quite go perfectly with my first couple of cards, but it is something broken, and nothing else in this pack is really broken. I don't think crop rotation for Cradle is just insane or anything. Let's pick up this Entomb. I do love me some Reanimator if it ends up being open. I'm not going to read too much into a third pick Entomb, but Entomb is the sort of card that I would be very happy first picking. Now what? Night's Whisper goes well with Entomb. Essica's Chariot goes well with green cards and Gaia's Cradle. DRC is reasonable with Entomb. I think I am going to stay the green route until I hit a reanimation card or something like that. Generic Mana Dork. I don't think I'm excited about Olamog specifically. Lightsteel's the wrong kind of fatty for Entomb. Generic Talisman, I think, is the pick over Nurturing Peatland. There's a Dark Depths. I'm not going to read too much into that. I'm going to keep picking the green cards, and if we backdoor our way into like green-black rock Reanimator, that'd be cool. I'm not seeing low CMC mana dorks though, which is a thing I would like to be seeing if green was just fully open. I may have some competition. Seiju is perfectly reasonable. I haven't really played with this card. I want to be in green aggressive. This is good. But I don't really think this is a card that I would miss. I'm going to pick up Seiju. I haven't seen any other reasonable Reanimator-y stuff. Ugin is not the ramp target payoff that I'm looking for in this deck. I'm going to take a Dynamo that I may or may not end up playing. This card is going really late. It used to be that this card slapped. It may just not anymore. Okay, green's open. Got that Green Sun back. It may just not have been the best set of green cards opened. So this pick is just like not generically great. I can take a generic payoff card. I can take a generic scaling graveyard hate card. I can take a mid-white card. I think I'm going to take the generic top end. Let's take Contagion over Wandering Emperor. I am in no capacity committed to green-black. None at all. We'll just take the scrub land here in case things get a little weird. I'm gonna say that this is a below average pack 1 by quite a bit. Let's hope this pack does some better things for me. Thundering Titan is decent payoff. Burrow is a reason to go into blue. It's probably a little harder to just get 5 cards in my graveyard in this format. Escaping it multiple times is maybe not the best. I could take Putrid Imp and try to keep this Reanimator Dream alive. I think I am just going to take a generically good green card and be fine with that. Treachery. Treachery is a card. Shallow Grave's a card. Didn't end up taking that Ulamog. I don't have the early mana dorks to make this court insane. In theory, green should be open. Let's not try to Shallow Grave. Let's take the court. Deep Forest Hermit is playable. That was the flagship. I don't really have a plan for removal yet. I don't really have a ramp yet. Harp Stance is just a weak card. I'm going to take this as a generic removal card. Oof. I just need to be pivoting into another color? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is a pretty decent white card. Let's take the 3/4. This is some of the first removal that I've seen. I have a Territorial Kavu in my sideboard that is technically red to make Questing Druid more appealing. I don't really want to play Gruff Triplets. I'm going to take this as a removal spell. Balance? I don't think so. I think I've just read this draft fucking wrong. I don't feel like we have any good cards. Everything's awful. I need pack 3 to come together really well. Take a Talisman since I'm not finding mana dorks. Ooze is fine. Is there a world where I'm in blue for this? With this much top end already, I don't think I want this. I could pivot white. I don't know. Let's take the Uro. Take the Nature's Claim as a sideboard card. This is the first draft I've done in this cube where I just feel like I've not read the room well. I don't think we're quite to disaster levels or anything, but this is not working. Well, my green cards are coming back. Don't have a strong reason to be mono green. I just don't have anything particularly good in another color. Uro Splash is awkward. It's blue. Got 2 talismans. Not a fan of this stuff. I think I'm currently folding to anything unfair, and it's questionable whether or not I'll beat fair stuff too. I guess I have 3 mana accelerators. Not a Wild Nicottle deck. I'm probably not a Life from the Loam deck. I'm going to take it anyway. Alright, we have Desperation Gruff Triplets if we need it. And there's a blue-green land for maybe Uro. Okay, I mean, there's some good cards in this pack. I think I'm just on the 1 mana Accelerant. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not going to say no at this point. This locks me into my second color. Nissa might table. But I think having Entomb Reanimate as a thing that I can randomly do in some subset of games is kind of the best thing that I've got right now. Just some chance at a 8/8 Trampler on turn 2. Sideboard Nature's Claim. Let's hope not to be playing Life from a Loam. It's a way to get a fatty into the graveyard. Worm Coil. As much as I want to like test out that sword, I think Worm Coil's castable and decent as a reanimation target. Okay. Where was this shit before? Like Halfling is good, Tomb is good, Caryatid is good. I'm gonna take the acceleration. I think the acceleration I need no matter what. Junk Scrubland. Sure. Just keep ramping. think just keep ramping. I'm not like the most excited about it or anything. I think we're on this as a removal spell over Triplicate Titan. Like, I already have plenty of top end, and top end is always replaceable. Let's assume we're not playing Life from the Loam. Brave Titan, Uvenwald Oddity. This is just a swamp forest. I think I'm going to be okay on playables. I don't know that my deck's going to be the strongest or anything, but I think I'm going to take some minimal amount of fixing. Sure. Draw a card, lose a life, or just a 3-2. I think I'm trying to keep all of my fatties castable. I think my deck is going to be a little sketch. Ooh! Library and Elder are both pretty good here. I'm not very good at putting stuff in the graveyard for Tarmogoyf. I probably skip on that. I'm going to take the ramp. I don't know, maybe... Oh, Nissa came back. That is kind of huge. That probably fills in some mid-range gaps in my deck list. This guy as Cradle Dream may not be alive. Like, there's some dream scenarios to be sure, but I might just need consistent lands. Like Gaia's Cradle doesn't cast an initial talisman. Might be like the jump from like 3 to 5. That's pretty good. Courser versus Tear Asunder. I already have a disenchant effect. I'm not gonna take another. I don't really want to play a Sakura Tribe Scout. I might play a Batter Skull. Not playing either one of those. There's another blue-green land, but I don't think I'm ever playing that Uro. So, I'm not super happy with this one. I think this is where we're going to end up. So we have Halfling Hierarch as turn 1 ramp. Then we have Zenith, Talisman, Wall, Elder, Druid as turn 2 ramp. I settled on playing the Court. I think the Court is a way for me to overtake some fair decks in the early game, especially when I'm on the play. I think my deck is a little lacking. I'm going to try 16 lands with the amount of mana ramp that I have. I have some mid-range cards and some extra top end that I'm not playing. My Green Sun package isn't exactly huge here, but I have the ability to like hate on the graveyard from multiple different directions, fetch mana, and fetch a finisher, as well as fetch an army in a can. I think we're gonna have to get a little lucky this time. We're probably hoping for a 2-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if we drop 2 matches this time. I don't think the hand is necessarily worth mulliganing. It's not necessarily the strongest thing in the world, but I can play an Essica's Chariot into a Batterskull and hope that that's good. Losing this Wall of Roots is a major blow. That was the best card in my hand by a lot. Well, apparently it's a tougher choice for my opponent than it is for me. Oh. Fucking sweet. No, I'm like stoked. That draw is also very good for me. We'll pass turn after that resolves. Oh, alright, we lose a mana dork. Oh fuck, we lose the green source. That's so bad. Never didn't have it. We'll just slug our way towards a Batterskull. Lightning Greaves is not something I see a lot of people play in Limited. My opponent, like, hasty produces a Merit Lage, like, their decision will be justified. I could explore right now using a counter off of this. I don't think I'm going to do that. Sure. This is all fine. Reanimate. So that could do neat things with a map token. Am I fine using this to try to do something cool? Or do I just want to cast Batterskull? I think I just want to cast a Batterskull. Let's bash in, make a map. We succeed at the damage. And... oh, it's not a mana ability? I didn't see the option to click that in the middle of the Batterskull. Feels like I should be able to do that. Blood Crypt. Sholdred. Hasty Shouldred. That Hasty Shouldred could be mine if I kill it in combat. Deep Forest Hermit. I kind of just want to explore onto this germ token to allow it to attack into Shouldred safely. And then I'll just move the equipment later. Alright. Explore off Swamp. Get a Boseiju. That's a thing. Explore off Forest. Courser can go into my graveyard. This is now fine. Now I'll attack with this as a 5/5, just perfectly happily. Send it. Oh no, I missed this interaction. So did my opponent. Good. Is Boseiju a land? Feels like Boseiju is a land. I don't think these Lightning Greaves are gonna kill me. I mean, famous last words and everything, but I have like Hoof in hand. I've been strip mined already. And I think I'm holding this reanimate, despite that awkwardness. I think it just brings too much to the table. Getting my own Shouldred is really, really good. Bringing Deep Forest Hermit back could also be a thing. A Karn. Alright, they're going for the card advantage mode. Put that card into your hand. You can have the land rather than the Faithless Looting. Because the Faithless Looting gains life with Shouldred. Alright. Draw a Talisman, which is not a great draw right now. We are gonna make the same attack as last turn and hope my opponent doesn't realize what they can do differently. Alright, are we trading? Fuck, they figured it out. Okay. So I lose that on the attack. This is a little weird. I think my play is reanimate their Vampire Hexmage. Use that to kill Karn. Make a mana. And we can go and work on going wide of Shouldred. What does this thing actually do? 2/3 Menace that loots. I mean, that also does things with Shouldred, I guess. Up to 12 off the Shouldred life gain. Vile Smasher the Fierce. Dark Confidant. There's a clear theme here. I dig it. So I remove a counter. This is the point where playing the Gaia's Cradle would be nuts, but I don't necessarily think I am supposed to be doing that. Next turn I can just hoof if I play Talisman this turn. So that's a thing. So Batterskull gets equipped to something. Am I just equipping a Squirrel? Just attrition my opponent out in that capacity? I think I'm into it. Make this attack this turn and then hoof next turn. And sans some nonsense happening. This should be fine. We're at 27. So even some Shouldred and Vile Smasher nonsense is probably not going to be enough to put them over the edge. Also, do they know about my hoof from like turn 1 off of Thoughtseize? Let's take that as a yes. So I guess questions I have. Is Vampire Hexmage fair or unfair? Like, do I have a 20/20 that I'm going to have to deal with? I don't know. I don't know how much I'm going to be sideboarding with this deck. I could Nature's Claim for something like Lightning Greaves. I don't know that that really makes a lot of sense. I could play some Planeswalkers to help in board stall situations. Hoof, X-Drinker, Green Sun for Hoof, going wide, equipping Batterskull are all ways that I can break board stalls, though. This may be a sideboard nothing moment. Let's say this is a sideboard nothing moment. I could get rid of my Castle Garenbrig. This is fine. It's not a sexy hand. It hopefully gets the job done. Mana Vault. Well, this is my green land drop, so I do not get to nuke that from orbit. And my opponent gets to do something big this turn. I'm gonna be bad at catching up. I also could just like play a removal spell on Hexdrinker. Bob. Sure. I trade Hexdrinker for Bob. Like, do I offer that? I guess I'm a reanimate deck. I'm gonna make the offer. Although I don't necessarily want to reanimate a Dark Confidant here. Alright. Opponent accepts the trade. Let's Devoted Druid. That represents the most possible mana next turn. That can get me up to like 5 in theory. Alright, how bad is this? Pretty damn bad. Pretty damn bad. I don't think Green Sun gets me out of this. Yeah, Green Sun does not get me out of this, so I have to kill through it. That doesn't feel good. So this means that I can wall zombies. Make a land drop, gain a life, untap this, drop Wall of Roots, that walls another zombie. There's a start. I have a Blood Chief's Thirst. I could kick that, and that can be an out to Grave Titan, and then I can reanimate it. I don't know, maybe I am supposed to, instead of playing Wall of Roots, just play Green Sun for Noble Hierarch to just take it off the top of my deck there. Also, my opponent could just like discard a big fat thing and then I reanimate it and steal this game. That would be cool. Trumpeting Carnosaur. Does that have 6 power? Valky misses. That has 7 power. Fuck yeah, that trades with the Grave Titan. Let's fucking go. Wait, no, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's very good. But it definitely could have been worse. Sure. Oh, so it's just Grave Titan attacking? Oh, that's fine. I will eat that damage. Oh my god, it's Blood Chief's Thirst. That's so good. Don't have a way to draw that. Man, that makes the... I put it in hand with Trumpeting Carnosaur? Or do I just shuffle and try to hit something else with the Carnosaur? I think I put it in hand. Yeah. So no. Okay, make a land drop off the top. I could do the Monarch thing. Don't know that that's actually good. So instead, I think we're going bam, bam, bam. Green Sun. Or X is 2. Picking up Scavenging Ooze. I think... Oh, right. I have to do this first. Immediately eat Dark Confidant. I've made my land drop. And then on their turn, I can activate Wall of Roots again. To then make this a 4/4. I might have found a way out of this shit. Like, life's still very bad. Like, let's be clear. That's fine. I think Ooze is fully on eat creatures, gain life duty, rather than disrupting Faithless Looting. But I did not even consider that as a real option. Shit, they do have the Dark Depths. And all. Alright, I don't know what their plan is, but they are not attacking. I think I'm okay using Wall of Roots to just gain another life and grow Scavenging Ooze. Now I kick this on Grave Titan. 1, 2, 3. Oh fuck, I need a second black to kick this. I mean, this will get me there. But not for another turn. Can I play the court reasonably? How is Contested Monarch right now? Probably okay with Contested Monarch. I'm not like in love with it or anything. Alright. I am the Monarch. Let's draw this Sakura Tribe Elder. Forest underneath. And you can take 1 for Mana Vault. My opponent has more bodies than I do. Like, they can make a body negative attack in to become the Monarch. Thoughtseize is annoying. That takes my Blood Chief's Thirst. Yep. I don't really know what my opponent's plan is if it's not get aggressive. Like, I am the Monarch. I'm about to start stacking counters up on creatures. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, block here, block kill here, block here, block here, take 4. Seems perfectly reasonable. So now at this point, I don't want to activate Wall of Roots because it will die since it has 2 damage marked on it. Now my opponent becomes the Monarch. I know that I am getting a land. To take the Monarch back, I need to attack with 3 creatures. But then I am facing down like 10 damage. That's not the best for me. It might just be what's happening though. Alright, so that was a mistake. Should not have done that. I can go attack, attack, attack. Become the Monarch, draw this card, or draw a different card. Send them, send them, send them. Double block on Courser is fine. So eat Grave Titan. Eat Trumpeting Carnosaur. Eat Valky. This is 7, 8, 9 damage. This is all fine. Opponent goes to 6. I become the Monarch. I drop Sakura Tribe Elder. This gives me 3 blockers. I am fine drawing a random creature. When it goes to 5 off Mana Vault. And I can grow Scavenging Ooze one more time. Safely in this turn cycle. My opponent also can't all-out attack to take the Monarch back. Sky Sovereign's good. They target Wall of Roots. I'll add a mana. I'll then Scavenging Ooze. Eat the Wall of Roots. This is an 8/8. This is a 6/5. We could end up in a multi-block situation that gets a little weird. I would love to hold Monarch to double the number of +1/+1 counters on this Scavenging Ooze. Don't know that that's happening though. Opponent has to attack with 3 creatures to take the Monarch, guaranteed though. Oh, nice. Yeah, I am just gonna get to double on up. This is already like a 14/14. Let's start stacking on a secondary creature. Let's go there. And then double these counters. Nice. This is an 8/9. So both of these creatures are just lethal. Let's send both and see how my opponent deals with this. That's fine. Let's play this nameless thingy-mabob. Do a map token. Let's just have this creature explore. Virtue of Persistence. Is that the removal spell? It is. Given that there are no real creatures in the graveyard right now, I think I will put that into my graveyard. Then we'll play out Delighted Halfling. Call it a turn. Draw my card for being the Monarch. Oh, it's Hoof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I convert Sakura Tribe Elder into a land, 8, or use Delighted Halfling, 8. We didn't have to, though. It feels to me, and I didn't math it out, and I don't know what's in my opponent's hand, but it felt to me like if my opponent had more aggressive, I don't win that one. My opponent has taken a mulligan. I'm going to keep this one. So if my opponent doesn't put a creature on board immediately, I just have turn 1 Noble Hierarch, turn 2 Court, and that gives me a lot of card advantage and power. And if my opponent does play a creature, are you just passing? Okay, you're a second main phase land hipster, sure. Anyway, if they do play a creature, I just like play Sakura Tribe Elder instead, and I am perfectly happy with that. So, Hierarch pass. The Entomb that's in my hand is a dead card unless I draw Reanimate. But I think that's fine. Are we dismembering? We are dismembering. Obviously makes my court worse. I can use Sakura Tribe Elder to get my green mana though. Although playing this card on an empty board is like slightly sus. We're on Grixis. I think we're still just getting the mana. I would love to draw just like any reasonable spell to cast. That sure is a castable spell. Alright, please don't flash creature me, basically. Like, in particular, Orcish Bowmasters would be some shit right here. But hopefully they don't have it. Sure. Alright, we dodged. I don't get any upkeep value off of this, which is a shame, because it's 4 +1/+1 counters worth of value. But then I get to just, like, drop a Batterskull. And that's pretty hot. Is holding up just Endurance better? Holding up Endurance might be better. It certainly isn't more mana efficient. But this just reeks of counterspell. I don't think I want to throw my Batterskull into a counterspell. Oh shit. Yes. Sure. So let's cast an Entomb first. Cityscape Leveler also just has Unearth. I think that's what I'm into here. And then we'll cast an Endurance. We'll try to clear our opponent's graveyard in case something like Snapcaster Mage exists over there. Dodge that bullet. This creature is about to be massive. Sacrifice a non-token creature. Alright. So, Cityscape Leveler is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's attempt a Batterskull. Everything is just fucking working. I'm so confused. Fine. I'll reanimate. Cool. Draw my card. I have no idea what is in my opponent's deck. They have not done anything. Like, they took no meaningful game actions in 6 turns. They cast 1 cantrip and 2 removal spells. What are they doing? Like, do they have a bunch of situational things? I don't know. Whack submit button. Run it back. I am fine keeping this hand. We've got mana acceleration spells to cast. Alright, sure. Let's just play Mana Dork, call it a turn. Like, my opponent has... Like, are you just like a 5-color deck or something wild? I don't understand. Sure, that's fine. That might actively be good for me with a reanimate here. Sure, that's fine. Elective Brutality. Sure. Why? So I assume I lost reanimate. I did. Entomb, not the best here. Given that. It's still a 1/1. There's 3 card types over there, though. Let's drop a Devoted Druid, and then next turn I can start going wide of what my opponent is doing. I probably just do Chariot next turn, rather than going for Hermit immediately. Like, this is also like hyper pip intensive for my opponent's 3-color deck. Is there instant in here? There's not instant in here. I am not gonna block. This card is too valuable to risk it. Sure, that's fine. So we will drop the Cat Chariot this turn. Make some 2/2s. Then go wild in the not too distant future beyond this. Next turn, I just make a bunch of squirrels and start pooping cats everywhere. My opponent's got 1 card left, by the way. Upkeep. Fire Covenant. Or X is 6. I mean, that's reasonable. I don't know, I feel like you just wait on that so I don't get to crew this, and you potentially also kill this too. Yeah, I'll take my 3. So, I don't get to do anything cool this turn. Next turn's pretty hot, though. I will probably Entomb Cityscape Leveler into my graveyard at my opponent's end step. Take 6. And after that, it's just this 3/3 that I have to worry about. Cast Entomb. There it is. Land drop. Whirls. a very good counterspell if my opponent has one. Is that a remand? That's a remand. Sure. That might be a game-ending amount of damage. Ooh, opponent does have Hull Breacher. It's important knowledge for my court. I think my opponent's Fire Covenant wins them this game, but not too worried about what I am seeing on the other side of the table. What does this do? Enter the battlefield turn, he phases out. Draw a card, discard unless you attacked. Sure. So +1 draw, make a ninja. A little hard to kill. Got it. And then it phases out. Okay. So I'm always dead to this in the air, unfortunately. If not for that flying, we're in real good shape. So I'm thinking about Contagion. That kills Dragon's Rage Channeler and Third Path Iconoclast. I'm not very good at pitch casting it, and black is a little hard though. So I might not do that and just whack the submit button. So turn 1, tap Triome. Turn 2, mana acceleration. Turn 3, mana acceleration. Turn 4 and 5, reasonable cards. This is an unexciting hand. I think I've got to remember that. Like, my deck is not very good. We've got a win on board, and I think we've got a real shot in this one. But ultimately, my deck is bad, and we've got to keep that at the forefront of our mind here. I don't think I get too fish for ideal hands or anything. Oh, my opponent just went to end of turn and discarded. When it ETBs, create 2 tokens that are copies of target non-creature permanent, except they're 3/3 dragon creatures in addition to their other types and have flying. Okay. So I would like to not put non-creature permanents into play, meaning that I Sakura Tribe Elder this turn over Talisman of Progress. This is like also just not that good of a reanimation target most of the time, right? Also, this is a brave play versus like an active reanimate that I showed. Shallow Grave. Sure. My opponent can make multiple copies of Mox. That's annoying. Yeah, it had to be very soon too, because otherwise I just like Scavenging Ooze for Endurance or Green Sun for either one of those 2 cards. Oh, I guess lands work too. Sure. Opponent gets a couple 3/3 flyers. I mean, doing that on turn 2 is pretty damn strong. That's gonna be a little tough to beat. Not impossible, but very tough. I'm just dead in 3 turns. Ooze is a card. I guess we're just like playing that. Playing Ooze. I probably wait now that my opponent has shown me reanimation elements. So that's fine. Basically, if my opponent answers my Batter Skull, I lose this one. I think that's what this comes down to. If I can keep Batter Skull around and gain 4+ life per turn cycle, it may be okay. This is a removal spell for this Ooze. Yeah. That ain't great. Gain 1 on my way out. Take 6 in the air. I am at 11. Batter Skull looks like it's resolving, which is good. But this may or may not actually be enough. I need to be gaining more than 4 life a turn to keep up with the 6 damage a turn I'm taking. Talisman's fine. Although honestly, every extra body here is relevant. Oh shit, are you okay? I was gonna say, like, I'll take those punts. I'll absolutely take those punts. Alright. So I can Green Sun for up to 6. I have the Hermit in hand. Sentinel's not good. Courser's not good. Endurance is a huge deal, though. The 4 mana goes towards Endurance, leaving me with 3 mana. Okay. So I attack. We see if my opponent wants to trade or just chump. Just chump. I go to 9. This gives me my reach. Nice. I will, I guess, endurance your graveyard. So now I've got a real chance here. I'm endurancing because things like Snapcaster exist, but as soon as my opponent shuffles with Bloodstained Mire, like, Dismember goes back in the deck, and that's something that kills endurance, so, like, maybe I'm not supposed to do it. What the hell is this? Oh. Sure. That's the Blightsteel on the back, right? Yeah. What did I go to? Oh, Court of Garenbrig. Sure. And Hull Breacher. Combo. Seems pretty good. Yeah, life's not great over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves me with 2 mana. So if I equip this here, I have an 8 toughness creature, which my opponent can just trade with. My issue is that my opponent can just like put counters on this stack up, and the trample ends up beating me very easily. Very, very easily. But I don't think like moving this here and attacking ends up with me being in an okay spot. So let's try to go wide and maybe my opponent messes up. But I think as long as the counters go on the trampling creature, just dead to it. If not now, then soon. I guess if I stay alive for a couple of turns, I could just rip Hoof. 1 mana short of Hoof. Okay. That's fine. Like, that means that those things can attack, and that I can lose endurance. Alright, so after some thought, both come in. At 5/5s, one of these is an obligatory block. Go to 4. A Massacre Girl. Is that good to do? That is gonna kill your Atali and all your things. I am in this game again. What were you fucking thinking? Like, you might win anyway, because, like, you're the monarch and you have the court, but... Okay, sure. Randomly hit Culligan's command to blow up the Batter Skull. Sure. And I lose this chariot. That's frustrating. Guess who's not dead yet? It's me. As you wiped your board. Let's see. What if they put on a tally? 2 counters. Oh, this one has menace. Oh, that'll work too. Alright. GG's. Alright, we've got kind of a middling opening hand that has some interaction, an eventual payoff target, and a removal spell. It's not overly exciting. I think I'm just going to throw down Wall of Roots. After seeing Basic Planes, there's a good chance that my opponent is an aggressive deck of some kind. Hey, speaking of, I get to just kill that and just kind of go on with my life. Bam. I do this now. Next turn, I'm just casting Deep Forest Hermit, so I could just use my mana this turn to get a Mana Dork. But I think I like this being a different card. Like, I think just generically making like a 3/4 body with something like an Endurance will probably end up being good. Yeah. So, land drop. I have a Disenchant guy. I do not have a Disenchant guy. So I think my plan has changed now in the face of that. I think this is now just Hex Drinker and level it. Right, click on this first. Level that. And I think just long term, having a protection from everything card in the face of Jitte is really strong. That's my plan. Sarah Paragon. Sure. Makes this more awkward for sure. So we're just going to 8 here. That's 7. Just 4 toughness currently. Uh, let's do that. Go to 8. 6/6 pro everything. Doesn't get eaten by Jitte. Jitte's still, Jitte. And this Sarah Paragon is very good. Because it decreases the amount of damage that Hex Drinker is effectively doing by a lot. And this card is more awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, I can cast it this turn. Unclear if that's actually good. I'll cast it later. So this is not going to be the 2-turn clock of my dreams because of Jitte. So, land drop. Drop Talisman. I will play out a Hermit. This is probably a distraction more than anything else in the face of a Jitte. We'll see. Individual points of damage might end up mattering a lot. Oh, fuck that. Absolutely fuck that. Hate this for me now. A Walking Ballista as well. Now this deck's sweet. I like what my opponent's bringing to the table here. Got some things like Crater Hoof that can be very strong and still allow me to get the win here. This is 13. I just die next turn, right? Okay, they're going to kill that. Reasonable. Yeah, so I don't have time for this to matter. So my opponent can just pump, 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 11, 12, 13, and I am deterministically dead. I can only hit my opponent for a little over 6 here. Fuck, that was good. Did not expect to lose that one. So I like additional removal here in a vacuum. Sky Sovereign's probably good. Nature's Claim is good. Contagion is probably playable. Let's assume that I don't need to mess around with Entomb. Reanimate can just be a reasonable card for blockers. Let's drop Cityscape Leveler to just make the deck a little sleeker. Then I'll need one more cut of some kind. Hermit's just like not great versus Jitte in particular. Can lower my curve and just get some 3/3s. I could also just play Gruff Triplets for this matchup where I am expecting to need to just block cards. This is fine. Contagion, definitely awkward. Alright. Hex Drinker pass. Oh, there's another color in there. Sure. I don't mind drawing that. Because that means Contagion is now online. If I need to pitch cast it for some reason. I'm hoping to just be able to Bloodchief's Thirst whatever creature my opponent plays next. Ooh. That's pretty good. Reanimate. I think I like trying to get lucky with a land drop here. Alright, did not get lucky with a land drop. I'll just bash in with Hex Drinker for a little bit of damage. Ooh. So, if I would like, I can Contagion and keep my Hex Drinker alive. My Reanimate is not particularly strong, or I can just trade here and keep the Contagion for something else. I think I'm just going to trade. Saga gets to find Shadow Spear. Seems good. Alright, get a bonus land drop. Green Sun is an okay draw. It's just a 1/1 right now. I could Contagion it. I think we're going to go bam, play Sakura Tribe Elder, attack with the 2/4, and then plan on playing Endurance. I think that's the plan. I could Contagion this. I don't think that is currently necessary. Sure, this is fine. There's the Shadow Spear I was expecting. Tolarian Academy. Seems good. Now things have probably changed a bit. So let's not care about this Reanimate. Actually, I'll just kill this one. Or no, I have to endurance ambush. I need to reduce this thing's toughness by 1. Yeah, so exile the reanimate to do that. Untap this. Cast endurance. I think don't nuke your graveyard, because I have like scavenging ooze later. Block this. Let that go. I think I draw this. Play land. Gain that life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is probably just scavenging ooze. Like, just cast this, take that out. X is 2. Scavenging ooze. Find nature's claim, which is perfectly reasonable. Drop my opponent to 12. Have end of turn, eat containment priest. I can shuffle my library if I decide I don't want nature's claim. Seems like it is a reasonable but not crazy good card as of right now. So this is just a 3/3 flyer at the beginning of combat on your turn, flying vigilance or lifelink. And it is an artifact. Got it. That makes this pretty good. Yep. So make mana, eat containment priest, draw nature's claim, play land. I probably will shuffle that out of the way. Nature's claim the creature. Bam, 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 bam. After no blocks. Ooze eats Seraph. Ooze eats Hex Drinker. Opponent goes 2/5. Horizon Canopy. Or yeah, okay. We're trying to draw to an out. Negative. We get to bring it to a game 3. I want this just as a 3/2 that trades with my opponent's creatures. That might be very reasonable. What about Court? Do I actually want Court against my opponent's aggressive deck? It lets me outscale their creatures, but losing Monarch kind of sucks. Let's try not to lose Monarch when we're on the draw here. I could lower my curve and get rid of something like Hoof. Like, I'll win the game with just like some things like Endurance and Sky Sovereign and Batterskull a lot of the time. I just play like Garrick. I lose the top end finisher off Green Sun or a greater chance to not just get run over when I'm on the draw. I think I like that. This hand does not do anything. That one is an auto mulligan. This one is fine. I think we are not ready for the triplets. I think we're just going to send that back. Conceptually, I am pretty far away from 6 mana. Fuck, that makes this not necessarily as good as it otherwise might have been. I still might be able to trade for an initial creature. Or I might be able to, like, Bloodchief's Thirst, kill a creature, start leveling this. Whenever equipped creature and at least one other creature attack, draw a card. Oh, and it, like, I see. Got it. So neither one of these actually make black mana, which means I can't play a Talisman and use my removal spell this turn. Let's scale up. Yeah, but this is really awkward. Like, not playing this Talisman this turn is such a big deal in terms of my ability to curve out for the rest of the game. There's land drop 4. There's Sarah Paragon. That's some shit. I can turn Hex Drinker into a 4/4 so it doesn't die to Jete. I'm not sure that's better than just playing multiple Talismans and working towards Worm Coil. So let's do that. I am just fully not guaranteed to cast this Worm Coil next turn anyway, but I think the world where I keep up with the Sarah Paragon involve trying to play towards this. Yeah, but I am a fair creature deck facing down Jitte with evasion. Life's pretty bad. Alright, and there's another flyer as well. Yuck. And this is target creature, so that gets to just get lifelink as well. Good stuff. Contagion is not gonna do it here. So we'll just do this. I'll make a beast with this. There's some worlds where my opponent does not end up killing this. And I get to just slam a 6-drop next turn. I think they probably just kill it, though. I think I'm just not beating Jitte, though. My deck is so fair, and we knew that from the draft. Okay, yeah, they are going to go ahead and kill it with one of their attackers. Seems good. Oh, Skyclave, sure. I think that denying a mana source here means that I am always just dead. It would have been an ETB tapped land anyway. Alright, I am okay with throwing in the towel. We get some play points for our trouble, though. So, we knew from the draft that this one was a stinker. We had some close calls. Like, we played Magic, I think, despite being the deck being pretty underpowered. I am not unhappy with how the match is played, given what the deck is. But, you know, we don't have power here. We don't have anything broken here. We don't have, like, super consistent mana dorks. We don't, you know, we're missing a lot of stuff. We did the best with what we had, but what we had was not good enough this time.